These are some cursed bones in Arizona. I think I briefly recorded these during a video, but yeah, we stayed at this campsite in the desert in southern Arizona, and someone had built this. Super cursed. This was probably my least favorite campsite I've ever stayed at. Just like the worst vibes. It was like 100 degrees, just like way too hot. I had like kind of a mental health crisis during this stay. I don't know if I can blame these cursed bones. This is in Nevada, out near Area 51. There were like a bunch of abandoned mines. We put on gas masks and went exploring through these, and it was pretty wild. Like maybe the spookiest thing I've ever actually done. I don't think I was actually scared though, but like, I don't know. Some of the videos I got, like with the flashlight in the dark tunnels, looks so creepy. I love it. Okay, this is in northern Idaho. I believe the Coeur d'Alene River, but like way up the mountain, like super isolated. This is one of my favorite places I've been as well. I know I say that about a lot of places, but this like super isolated river spot we found was so amazing. We had a fire down by the river. We actually went tubing down this river. I have no like video or picture of that, unfortunately, but it was such a fun time. There was no cell service here. You had to drive like at least 40 minutes down the mountain to even get like a trace of cell service. It was like so out there. I feel like the best camping spots always have no cell service. That's like such a pattern I've noticed. The one thing I will say though about this place, there were what we identified as deer flies that would come out during the summer when we were there. You're just trying to like hang by the river, you're trying to just like vibe on the beach, maybe do a little swimming, and these things just like bite you. Like they just come out of nowhere and they bite you. It doesn't hurt that bad, but it's enough to be like startling. It wasn't like a hard bite that left a mark or anything, but it was enough to like ruin your time out there if they were just like biting you all day long, you know? This is Mount Rainier. I think I'm saying that right. In Washington. This is one of the most beautiful pictures I've ever taken, but actually this place was super crowded as well. It looks like it would be super remote, like it would be so out there, this like magical place. It was actually just off the road. We weren't even planning to go here. We just kind of passed it on the road and pulled over real quick. There were a bunch of people parked here, a bunch of people out walking around. I got a nice picture with no one in it, and it looks super awesome. This was somewhere in Washington. This is a shitty picture, but it's the only picture I got of these berries. So we were just on like a sort of a walk through the river. Like, you know, when a river is like shallow enough to go for a walk, it's not like too heavily flowing or anything, it's just like a river that you can take a walk through. We were on one of those walks. We saw these berries, these delicious looking berries. We were both really hungry. We ate them. We ate these unidentified berries. We didn't have service over here, otherwise we would have looked up like what these are. We just ate them. And they were delicious. They were sweet. Don't ever do that, by the way. Luckily, we got back. We looked it up. These are thimbleberries, and they're perfectly safe to eat. Okay, now buckle up. I'm gonna tell you the most cursed thing. Well, one of the top most cursed things that has ever happened throughout the RV life / van life journey. So we were at this really beautiful campsite that we found just by like driving around. We just kind of stumbled upon it and decided to camp there, and it was like shockingly beautiful. Like we couldn't believe we had this all to ourselves. You could walk down a path to like all of these different pools with waterfalls connecting them. So when we first got there, we explored, we ran around down by the river, took pictures, and we were like, hey, we should like get our cameras and bring them down here and take long exposure pictures of the waterfalls. We should hang out down here, we should eat down here. We had all these plans. So the campsite's up here, and then you just have to kind of like walk down a dirt path through the trees to get to like the river area, just like a super short path. So as we're walking up, my boyfriend's walking first, I'm walking behind him. He stops in the middle of the path to look at some mushrooms that were growing. I forgot to even mention that, by the way. There was like the most interesting looking mushrooms growing out of the trees here. It looks so magical. Anyways, he stops to look at these mushrooms, and then it all happened really fast. In the next second, he's like yelling and swiping at his legs. I don't know what's going on, so I ask. I don't get an answer. He takes off running. A second later, I feel the sharpest, most sudden, most intense pain on my ankle. enough to make me like scream. I screamed so loud, my throat hurt afterwards. For whatever reason, my immediate reaction was to take off my sandal. I was fully covered, by the way, except for my sandals, but I think I had a long sleeve and pants on, whereas my boyfriend had been wearing shorts. That's important. So I scream, I take off my sandal for some reason because I think like something's caught in it or gonna get caught in it. I don't really know what the logic was there, but that was my first instinct. So then I'm running back slash like limping back to the van with my sandal in my hand in like so much pain. What had happened was a bug had basically attacked us, and to this day we don't know what bug, if it was multiple bugs, if it was one bug, what it was. All the Googling in the world couldn't help us identify like what this could be, and we never actually saw it. It hurt so bad for the whole rest of the day. I would put ice on it and that would help, and like the second I would take the ice off, it would hurt like hell. And it left a big mark too, like a big red circle. We didn't do any activities that we were planning to do. We just laid in bed all day because we just like didn't feel like moving. By the way, I got bit once. My boyfriend got bit, I think like 5 times. I just can't even imagine. That definitely ruined the vibes of this entire campsite, even though we initially thought it was like the most beautiful sight we had ever seen. And I think we just left the next day. So this was in Oregon. We had a fire in the snow in this like super flat, I think it was a lake, but it was snowed over, or maybe a dry lake that was snowed over because it wasn't like ice or anything, it was just snow. The place we actually camped was just off the road, but it wasn't like a highway or anything. It's like a random road kind of in the middle of nowhere. It was freezing this night, but kind of a bucket list thing to do, to dig a hole in the snow and have a fire. And I got this like really amazing footage of it that I think just looks like so peaceful and perfect. And yeah, okay, we'll end it there on a good note. So yeah, I hope you guys liked these stories and pictures. Let me know if there's anything else you would like me to talk about or video ideas you'd like to see from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.